Hello, my name is Jerome Cagato. We opted to do the cross-platform personal training app, and our app is called MyFitnessBuddy. The group, the team members are Brian Bowie, myself, Jerome Cagato, Kristen Haynes, Michael Nagusi. It's for the CS 467 Summer 2024 class. Project partners are William Pifel and Gokul Kasavamurti. So why fitness? Why MyFitnessBuddy? We decided to go with this route because we felt like it was an opportunity to learn multiple relevant industry technologies. None of us in the group have ever created a cross-platform application before, which utilizes Android, Apple, and web development. And the technologies where we're going to be using for the first time was the front end React Native, back end Django, authentication with Firebase, and the database of MariaDB, and hosting was AWS. So, what would make this compelling for a user? This app aims to create a welcoming experience to individuals at all levels of fitness. It takes off the mental load by creating a customized workout routine for the individual. And this is kind of what the individual will look at. This is the front end. The user will log in here. They'll go to the dashboard and they would fill out a survey. Depending on what they fill out in the survey, whether they're a beginner, intermediate, or expert, it will churn out a 30-day fitness plan based on the survey and the equipment they use. And you'll see here it's Monday through Friday. Each day will have 5 exercises based off the back end algorithm. And now I'm gonna pass it on to the rest of my team, and they'll explain to you guys what they contributed. Thank you.
Hello. Yes. So my name is Brian Bowie, and me and Michael worked on the front end portion of the project. We use React Native, Expo, and TypeScript. The reason we use React Native was because I was familiar with it from our web development class. I mean, we all were, and we decided to use Expo and TypeScript because from our research, it just seems the most applicable to app development. The steps for development was that me and Michael, we would divide the task between ourselves for the front end. And then when I had to work on my own, I wrote out a list of what the core functions were and then what functions would seem to be nice to have. And I worked that way. In the original plan, there were a lot of features that I would like to have, but they were really complex to implement and there just wasn't enough time. So I had to do a lot more bare bones than I would have liked. The challenges that I faced on the front end was, understanding how to use TypeScript and React Native so that I could produce a product that I liked. And for the back end portion, uh, I struggled and I struggled now still trying to connect Django with the front end. What I learned from this process is communicating closely with my peers in our channel of communication via was Discord. We messaged each other a lot, and this let project also help me set my expectations and manage my time. So I'm going to quickly show you that this is the dashboard. I designed this dashboard page with the workout and the hours per week and this heat map that shows you what day it is and what month. So I'm going to go to the quick start workout. Um, Here the timer starts. There's a total volume here. If I click add exercise, it'll take me to this exercise page where I can look through all these exercises. I can search up exercises like back. I can click on one and it'll go on here and I can add sets. I can make it a warm up and it'll update accordingly. I can delete it. 20, 10, 25, 5. If I click done here, it'll update the total volume accordingly. If I click here, it'll show me information. I don't have this updated yet. Reorder exercises. I don't have, oh, let me put in another exercise actually. Sure, this one. I can click on it, reorder exercise, and then I can drag and pull and it'll switch and it'll save the order and save the information. I can discard this workout. Yes. And then If I wanted to, I could press finish workout, press no if I'm not done, finish workout, press yes. Here's the survey, medium. And this is something I've not finished yet, but this is what I've been working on.
Hi, my name is Mike Goose. I was working on the front end along with Brian. The parts I worked on were the login page, the front end authentication handling, registration form, fitness plan survey, and populating the dashboard with the fitness plan information. Technologies used were React Native with Expo because it was cross-platform and Expo was super helpful with the features and functionalities it added. GitHub for collaboration and Google Firebase for authentication handling. The steps in development for me started with the tutorials for React Native and Expo. From there, I moved on to the login page and the registration pages, just creating them at first until I got to Firebase authentication, where I connected it to Google Firebase and the backend to make them functional. Then the authentication context creation, which allowed sign out users to only access the login page and sign in users to access the whole app, and store user information in the authentication context variables for easy access. Then the fitness plan survey and populating the dashboard with the fitness plan details. The original plan was pretty much roughly what I had for development. I was supposed to do the full exercise list and the customizable list from the fitness plan, but Brian ended up taking that because he's working on the exercise cards. And authentication took longer than expected, so it kind of pushed the timeline back for what I was working on. And I didn't get to do as much testing and cleaning up as I wanted to. The challenges I faced tied into authentication, pushing my work back. That was the biggest challenge, just learning how to do everything with that. And then I had to play catch up, trying to learn how, or trying to work on certain things that the backend needed and try and get it done as quickly as possible, basically. Things I learned from this process and the project was definitely a lot of confidence in my ability to troubleshoot and learn new kind of functionalities and React and even how things on the back end were working, and an increased, I guess, resourcefulness, especially in troubleshooting, because there was a lot of that. And then real quick, I can show some of the functionality here with the login, the loading screen as the dashboard pulls the fitness details from the back end. Then this is where you would create the fitness plan. This is leftover from development. And then down here is where the fitness plan populates the workouts and the sets and reps and durations pulled from the back end. And then you can log out up here.
Hi, my name's Kristen. I was our specialist for the database and AWS workflows for this project. The technology that I mainly worked in was MariaDB, AWS, GitHub, and Django. And our team came together and picked these because they supported the relational needs of our app. They all integrated well together, and these are all really popular technologies and frameworks in the industry, and we wanted an opportunity to get some hands-on experience with them. My personal development steps were to research and set up our AWS infrastructure. We ended up going with an EC2 instance and an elastic IP, and using S3 for data backups. I then designed our database, set it up, and developed the models, and then made sure they align with the Django models and usage, and then helped automate our continuous integration and development, and deployed the app. The one deviation we ended up doing in my area from the original plan was moving from MongoDB to MariaDB. And this was just once I had sketched out kind of the relationships, it became really apparent that we needed a database that would support a highly relational set of attributes. Key challenges that we faced in my area and were overcome. First, there was some misalignment with Django and the database that resulted in a bunch of duplicate tables getting pushed to the database and like things just being out of sync. So I partnered with the team in refactoring, and we prioritized communicating the end-to-end flow at that point. And then the other challenge was just learning multiple new technologies and doing development in them at once could be challenging. And so the takeaway and how we overcame that was just staying disciplined, working well together, and being patient. Two things I learned, how critical good planning is, and to make sure to understand how technologies will integrate before starting development in them to avoid having to do rework later. I want to quickly run through the user experience from the database perspective. So when a user registers, they'll pick an avatar, they'll submit a survey that tells us what their fitness level, body type, and fitness goal is. In a future iteration, we'll support user-defined milestones. Once they've submitted the survey, we take that as an input and generate a fitness plan for them. This plan is made up of multiple workouts. Each workout is made up of multiple exercises, and we will only assign exercises that use equipment that the user has indicated is available to them. Lastly, as they go through this experience and log workouts, they're able to give us feedback on how things went, and we'll store the workout history for them. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Jerome Cagato, and these are my contributions. I was mainly in charge to develop the backend for the fitness app. I designed and implemented the API endpoints for the front end. I created the Django database modules to store and manage user data, but mainly I created the fitness algorithm that would create a 30-day fitness plan based on the survey endpoints, whether it's depending on your goals, the equipment you have. I would then create an algorithm that will make a 30-day fitness plan for you. The technologies we use, Django. Django is the backend. We used it because it's a popular framework. It's robust and has the ease of database integration with MariaDB. And Firebase authentication employed to securely authenticate users linking the front end and the back end. The GitHub was used for version control to manage the code base collaboratively. MariaDB, again, chosen as relational database to store and query information. Steps in development, research and familiarize myself with Django through documentation tutorials, explored Firebase authentication's integration with Django for user authentication, designed backend API endpoints in Django to interface with the React Native front end that allowed me to be able to develop the fitness plan. What was the original plan and what are the deviations? The original plan was to handle the user authentication entirely through Django at first. But we deviated and used Firebase authentication on the front end for easier integration with React Native. And then we used Firebase handled authentication and Django verified Firebase tokens on the back end. The challenges I faced was learning new technologies, especially multiple technologies simultaneously, such as Django and Firebase. I overcame these challenges by dedicating the time to study documentation and tutorials, conducted extensive testing of data endpoints to ensure they worked as expected. And what I learned from this project, I learned the importance of rapid learning and adaptation by gaining knowledge of Django and Firebase within like a 6-week time period, and realized the value of getting a head start on learning new technologies before starting a project to save time during development. Now I'm going to show you a quick back-end view of how it worked. So I'm already logged in. I'm going to create a new fitness plan. I want to get stronger. Body type is that, and I'm decently. Don't have much as equipment, so I'll just do body weight, cable, dumbbell, barbell. We hit submit. We'll go into the back end. It's gonna create a 30-day fitness plan. There you go. And as you see, this shows you the back end of creating day 1, Monday, all the way to day 30th. Day 30, the exercise, barbell side, and etc. And it alternates. And that is my contributions. Thank you. So the conclusion, what's the future of the project? We aim to improve the application. We want to have a more flexible, dynamic app based on real-time user feedback that includes generating workout plans of different lengths and focus areas, utilizing user feedback from previous sets or workout history, suggest replacement exercise if user removes exercise from plan. We want to help educate users on proper form with videos and animations that coincide with the fitness plan. We want to implement the stretch goals that we had initially, which was to create multiple personal trainers, each with a name, image, and personality and style of training. This would be like an AI trainer, incorporate chatbot functionality like ChatGPT to talk to the users, to motivate them, and add the ability to reach random sub goals and offer encouragement based on the proximity of those goals. Apply an app notification or text message for motivation, and eventually launch it to Android app stores. We'll be focusing on development plans before we even think about any commercial development at this time. Thank you very much. My name is Jerome Cagato, and this is our MyFitnessBuddy cross-platform app.